It's an honor to be here with you today. My name is Camila Hayward. I work for FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, located in our Region 5 office, based here in Chicago, and I know the head of our office talked this morning about our office and our various programs, so this is a continuation of that. And I focus in particular on public education efforts. So most of you have heard of FEMA, obviously, and you've seen us in the media, mostly after disasters and the response and recovery phase. But I'm active all year long, talking to local community members about what they can do to become better prepared for disasters. And while we don't have grants per se, I'm here to tell you about some of the free programs that we have that are obviously paid for by taxpayer dollars, but that you can take advantage of, and there's also partnership opportunities and things like that available to you. So the first thing I wanted to mention is our focus on public education. So one of FEMA's main priorities is building a culture of preparedness across the entire country. We want people to be empowered, to be prepared for disasters, to hopefully lessen the loss of property and most importantly, loss of life when a disaster happens. So things like having a family communication plan in place, having an emergency supply kit, being financially prepared for disasters. All those are really important things related to emergency preparedness. So to that effect, we have a whole bunch of different resources that you can order for free from FEMA, different brochures and pamphlets and things like that. And some of them are on the table outside. But just some examples, we have a checklist for knowing what alerts and warnings are active in your area and what the different levels of alerts mean, forming a family communication plan and having a checklist at home, and talking with your family about disasters and things like that. We want people to know what disasters can happen in their areas so that they're prepared for those. And we want people to know what protective actions to take. You know, what's the difference between a watch and a warning? Where's the best place to shelter during a tornado? And everything like that. So, importantly, we want to focus on youth and reaching, people at a young age, so that we're helping people form an understanding of what disasters are and how they can be prepared at a young age. So we have a number of different programs for kids. One of those is the Student Tools for Emergency Planning program, and it comes with a fun backpack. So I'm happy to show you this backpack afterwards, but it has a flashlight in it, it has an emergency blanket, and a whistle. So it's just a conversation starter for kids in terms of how they can talk with their families about being better prepared for disasters. And while the backpacks themselves aren't free, we do have a free curriculum associated with this program, and it's geared towards 4th and 5th graders because we found that that was the best age group to engage in terms of their ability at that level to be leaders in their families for preparedness. So we talk about what are disasters, what can happen where I live, and we have some fun interactive games that are included in that as well. And it can really go into any curriculum subject matter area. It's aligned to Common Core standards for science and for English as well. And it's really a great program. It's only 1 hour minimum that's required in order for kids to get their certificate as part of the program. But there's 7 to 8 hours of optional curriculum as well, and different activities that they can do, like role-playing emergency scenarios and things like that. So I've adopted it for many different organizations, such as the Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, or summer camps and things like that. Further to our youth preparedness initiatives, we also partner a lot with local nonprofit organizations and community groups to encourage people to know their risks and to take action or prepare for disasters. We really focus a lot on historically underserved communities. So people who are low income, the very young, the very old, people with access and functional needs, and minority communities, including limited English proficiency. So we have limited resources at FEMA to prepare people for disasters and do these more intensive programs. So we tend to focus them on the communities that need them the most. One of our partnerships is with Head Start facilities. We have that in the city of Chicago as well as Will County, and we're hoping to expand that out as well. And that just takes a look at how can these facilities better prepare for disasters, how can they prepare the people that they serve for disasters, so that these are the most vulnerable groups when something happens, but they can take steps still to be better prepared. And I wanted to ask, how many of you have heard of the Cert program, Community Emergency Response Teams? A few of you? Okay, so that's another program that falls under my area of work, and it was essentially created in the 90s after some earthquakes in California, and there was a big earthquake in Mexico City as well, and it brought to the understanding that, did I just microphone? Sorry. Okay. Ooh, I have kind of a quiet voice, so I don't know if I can.
Is it an emergency?
Can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So the Community Emergency Response Team program was started as a result of those earthquakes that I mentioned, and essentially what it does is teach people basic emergency response skill sets, such as light urban search and rescue, organizational skills. It teaches them how to act as the first responders before the actual professional first responders arrive. And it teaches them to do that in a safe way where they're not putting themselves into harm's way. So Cert teams have been really beneficial in some of the disasters we've had in Illinois. For example, in LaSalle County, Cert members were used for everything from managing spontaneous volunteers after the tornado and flooding events, to helping people evacuate, going door to door, helping with damage assessments and things like that. And when there's not disasters, the Cert members will help out at community events, and they'll help with things like traffic control, or they'll help with the medical tent, if there's a race happening in the community and things like that. So it's a 20-hour basic Cert training that every member must go through, and there are quite a number of teams in the surrounding area. Illinois has a very strong Cert program, so for those of you who are interested in getting involved in that, I encourage you to do so. And lastly, I wanted to mention some of the trainings that we do with other community members. So I mentioned the Head Start training series, but we're always looking for new opportunities to partner with organizations as well. We have, for example, a Girl Scout Day coming up in our region. It's going to be hosted at our Chicago office in partnership with the American Red Cross, and it's going to teach the girls about emergency preparedness, and we're going to give them a preparedness fun patch and help them qualify for their first aid badge. So the goal is we want to get to these kids at a young age. We want them to grow up to become prepared adults, and similar to the success of campaigns in the past, like the seatbelt campaign, the recycling campaign, we're hoping to do something similar with emergency preparedness. And like I said, we focus on engaging youth and engaging those historically underserved communities. So we are always looking forward to partnerships and training opportunities and things like that. So my contact information will be sent around, and you can feel free to contact me. Also, I want to make a point of letting you know about those materials that I mentioned. You can order those online. We have an order form for that, and we can send that around as well. And all of those are free for you to order. Does anyone have any questions? Yep.
What was the age